That is bullshit blazing, still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new one under you. Soon you will know, we already know the smell of the game. That is bullshit blazing, still my heart is blazing. If I lose my wings, I don't need a new world under you. Can't feel a thing, we already know the smell of the game. Remember you are blazing, still your heart is blazing. If the world's made you, I don't need a new world under you. Soon you will know, we already know the smell of the game. Can't you see I'm blazing? Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new world under you. My time is my word. Your words will never let me disappear. That is bullshit blazing. Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new world under you. Soon you will know, we already know the smell of the, know the smell of the, know the smell of the, know the smell of the game.
Raoul Open Book, stay on my crown. Fit together like the shotgun fits in Hemingway's mouth. I carved down my plot, I write with your blood. I created this world, and first came the word. You have no light in sight, just endless darkness to fight. The horror story comes true. I'm dark, twisted, and cruel. quiet knocking on your door. It's not your story to write. Scratch out your words in the night. When the writer is in doubt, my turn to come out.
Lace your heart with mine. Let your sleeping soul take flight. Take me through the night. Down, down, down by the river. Down, down, down by the river. Hanging moon in fog. Mists will lead where you belong. Sweep me off my feet. Down, down, down by the river. Down, down, down by the river. Down, down, down by the river. Inky amber, swirling down. Just leave the flames and take a chance to be with me tonight. Take my hand and hold it tight. 'Cause you and I are everywhere. The night is young. We're going down, down, down by the river. Down, down, down by the river. Down, down, down by the river. Don't wake me up, just leave me there, dreaming.
Found out treasures are always lost. Pleasures and rage come back. I'm watching you. Be careful with your moves tonight. I think the time is right. I think the blood is dried. It cries for more. So what are we waiting for? and chains starting to fade. It feels like a game you have to play. Lights out. Is this who you really are? Can't look into your eyes. Your twisted mind. It's dark, so dark. We end it now. It ends right here, right now. Please tell me you brought the end. Slide up the sky. You fade into the night. Wires and chains starting to fade. It feels like a game you have to The days when it was good are gone. I'm trying to see what it was for, but I'll never know. And though it's dead, I hear that wires and chains starting to fade. Feels like a game you can't escape. Wires and chains starting to fade. Feels like a game you can't escape. I found out treasures are always lost. Pleasures are long forgotten. Who are you now?
Good afternoon, and welcome back to The Siege, and welcome to the 2023 the Golden Molehill Awards. How are you doing, folks? I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you're doing great. It is Friday also, And we are back to our annual Golden Molehill Awards. Hello everyone in chat, hello there Dragodai, and hello there everyone else looking in the shadows. Welcome all in, folks. And man, I would say we are jumping right into it because it has been a year, to say the least. There's a lot to wrap it up, right? A lot of top games to talk about. The shittiest company of 2023 we have to talk about. And man, let me tell you, they have been a lot of contenders. No, seriously. Like, 2023 was definitely the year where we had one of the best games in gaming history, and also some of the shittiest decisions you could have ever imagined, right? And it's like, that's the gaming industry. They are managing to put 2 and 2 together and still get a 5 out of it. I don't know how they're doing it, but they do it. And then afterwards, of course, we are looking at the future of gaming, if there is any. And we are looking at the games to look forward to in 2024. That's what we are doing today. Yes, exactly. And so I would say we are jumping, as I said, directly into it. Do your thing, Draco, and everyone else. And I would say I'm jumping into the whole award ceremony. As I said, 2023 was a tumultuous year where apparently over 10,000 developers or people who had something to do with game development have lost their jobs. In a record year where companies made hand over fist so much money that they could probably finance dozens of games, but that money is not going into games, but into the pockets of a lot of shareholders. And as I said, so many people have lost their jobs, even though their studies. Oh man, studios. There we go. There's the first blub. No, like, so many of them are healthy. The publishers are healthy, and they decided to fire people. Like, Larian just announced. Well, no, they are not firing people, but they basically announced that, holy shit, all the people at Wizard of the Coast and D&D they worked together with on this, on Baldur's Gate 3, they're gone. They got fired this week. It's like, even the people they had on the promotional material and in the developer blogs, fired. I was like, wait a minute, what? Why? Yeah, because Hasbro. And Hasbro decided that they had to kill off branches which are doing just fine and which are keeping the company afloat. Great. Amazing. Yesterday, Embracer just embraced some studios again. And this time they apparently fired quite a handful of people from 3D Realms and Slipgate Ironworks. The people who are working right now on Tempest Rising, the next Command & Conquer. We don't know how many people. We know that the lead sound and music designer was apparently fired, and some other people. Like, we are still gathering the information who got kicked out. But it's like, what the hell, man? What is going on here? Right? The problem is, it makes no sense. You're trying to understand a sense, and even the people who are doing much more analysis than I do, the people who are doing the economy of companies, even they are just sitting at the sidelines and they're going, what the heck? This makes no sense whatsoever. AKA bad management. So, yes, 2023 was an amazing year for gamers. And it was the most horrible year for game developers. And to be honest, the shockwave of all of that, we will feel into 2024 and especially the years afterwards. Like 2024, I would say, would still be pretty safe when it comes to game releases and what we are getting. But after that, I'm deeply concerned of 2025, 2026. Those will be probably pretty weak years. Because what a lot of people don't understand is what we got in 2023 was mostly COVID games. Games which should have come out in 2021, 2022, but they didn't because of COVID, right? And those are all the games we got. This is why we got so many amazing games, why we got so many bunch of games, one after another. But those games have been in development for 3 to 5 years. And now that they all made the cutoff, they're normally starting their new projects. And they're preparing for 2025, 2026, 2027. But as it stands right now, we will see about that. Like, again, 2023 has been devastating for the gaming industry and developers as a whole. And we will see the effects in the coming years. Not this year. Like, people think that when people are getting fired, in a lot of jobs you will feel the immediate effect, right? Like, depending on which job you are doing, when you are firing people in those areas, you will immediately feel that something is missing, something is slower, there are more problems, complaints are going higher. Like, there is like a lot of things you immediately notice, not just as somebody who's working there, but as somebody who's also a consumer of said product. Gaming, though, gaming is a slow-ass thing. It takes so many years before you even notice that something is wrong. So, yeah. But we will talk about that when we are talking about the shittiest gaming company of 2023. Oh yeah, we are getting to that. We are getting to that. And believe me, there have been a lot of contenders this year. A lot of them. But before we go to that, let's talk about the games. So, let's talk about my personal top 5 games of 2023. And there were a lot of contenders there. Interestingly enough, we had some pretty good games, but the amount of exceptional games, the amount of, oh yeah, this is Game of the Year material, has been pretty low. All things considered. It has been pretty low. Which has to do with some games not upholding the promises, some games having horrid performance issues, bugs, and were just not up to par with other games. Like, yes, studios are fixing it, but that's not how I look at it. I'm not... If you are screwing up a game at release, even if you fix it weeks or months afterwards, I'm done with you. Like City Skylines 2. Would I have considered City Skylines 2 to be a game of the year? Yeah, Did they do it? No. Not in the state they released that game. No. Ain't happening. Right? Like, it's unfortunate. So with that said, let's talk about the top 5 games. Keep in mind, those games I will mention are all worth your time and worth your money. There's no particular order, not even a release date order, because I figured out that a lot of people are figuring out which games to come, just depending when I'm going through the release dates. So we'll not do that this time. And they are just in random order. But all 5 games are so good that they're worth your money and your time. Okay? Good. Let's start with the obvious one. Let's start with the one I think everyone had on their list this year. Everyone is talking about. And, well, it got also Game of the Year. And yes, of course, that is Baldur's Gate 3. Yes. Baldur's Gate 3 has been absolutely fantastic in every metric. In every metric of what a game can achieve without screwing over their customers, their community, Baldur's Gate did it. There is barely a single thing I could complain about in this game. There are a few, but they are so minor and they are so personal. Like, this game is freaking long. And I do like some smaller games as of late. Or like, apparently the ending wasn't too great, which, well, they have fixed now. They added a new ending and all that. And it's just this, you're looking at the game from the beginning to the end, and everyone's just, there is no slowdown. There is no moment where this game feels unrewarding or feels like you just want to move on, man. Nothing of the sort. And that's what makes this game so special, is that everything is top. The voice acting, the gameplay, like the interactions, the cinematics. You really realize what a top-notch game this is when you play other games. Me and my buddies, we started to play Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader, which just came out a few days ago, and we're playing in co-op. Oh boy, oh boy, you feel the difference in quality. Like, don't get me wrong, Rogue Trader is not a bad game or anything. We are all enjoying it. We do our thing, right? But when Rogue Trader is here, right here, Baldur's Gate is not even in the same stratosphere when it comes to what it delivers. And I think, how do you know that this game is exceptional? Look at the reactions of other game developers, publishers, and even CEOs when they have been asked on the success of Baldur's Gate 3, and their reaction is like, oh yeah, no, you cannot compare this. This is a instanced game. It's you cannot compare this with how we do games. You cannot compare this with the future of gaming. Like, this is a one-time thing, and we cannot learn anything from it. And please don't hold us to that standard. If you have people, and yes, people have said this. I'm not making this up. But there have been official accounts on this on social media and interviews where they said those kind of things. You know you have an amazing game at this, because nothing makes the executives more afraid than the whole idea of change and holding them to higher standards. Because, let's be real here, 2023, again, has been a year where games came out to very questionable standards with some crazy microtransactions. And then we have Baldur's Gate, which is just, oh, yeah, pay us $60. You get the whole game. Hundreds of hours of meaningful content. And to make it very clear, I'm not talking about the 100 hours. 100 hours in a video game, that is something achievable. I mean, ask Ubisoft. Right? Ask Ubisoft. They can make you a 100-hour game. No biggie. Filling that 100 hours with meaningful content and not a moment where you just think, please wrap it up, please. That is something so exceptional. And again, Baldur's Gate has done that. Baldur's Gate did exactly that. And I have seen so many people who normally say, hey man, this isn't my type of game. This is not something I normally play. Like, oh, turn-based combat? Yeah, that's so not my alley. I'm a Call of Duty player, man. I'm a pew-pew shooter guy. This ain't my game. Sure, I give it a shot. And you have never heard of those people ever again because they are lost in the game now. And they're spending hundreds and hundreds of hours in it. It's insane, the reach of this game. Because it is just so much high quality. Like everything you see in the interface, everything you see in the gameplay is just, it makes sense. It just makes sense. Like, one of the things people asked me, hey, why do you think, like, this game is also super successful? And I'm saying, yeah, because it doesn't try to do any bullshit with the monetization. Let me give you an example, which I made very early on. In Baldur's Gate 3, you can just teleport. Right, you're opening up the map, you are clicking on the next waypoint, and then you are teleporting to the waypoint in an instant, and that's that. It's the simplest thing you can do. Super simple, right? If a big publisher like Ubisoft would have done this game, they would have found a way to monetize that. And they would have started with, yeah, so we want to talk about like a really cool feature we have in the game for the player. So as you know, D&D is about traveling. It's about walking, right? And like finding stuff. And well, we don't really want to interfere with this really cool lore feature a lot of people expect from a D&D game. So we were like, okay, what can we do to make it so that people can still fast travel and it's fun to them, but it doesn't really interfere with the core idea of just walking around full with items, right? So we implemented a fast traveling system, but to utilize this fast traveling system, you need this dildo shaped totem, right? You have to use in a very integrate way. And every time you fast travel, you will use up one of those totems. We don't tell you how to utilize it, but it will be used up. And you can only find those items in the game by playing the game, right? Like, we wanted to make this really close to the D&D lore, and you have to find this item to fast travel, but still you have to walk around a lot. Oh, did forget to mention it, but you can also buy this item in the item shop for real money. And you might think, wow, that's a bit over the top, isn't it, Mo? But you kind of know that's what they would do. They would create a video or something where they would talk for 4 minutes on how this is very important to the lore and how they are doing you a favor by taking money from you. And then you can be sure, you can be absolutely sure that they would find a way to make the system they just introduced even more tedious. Like, oh yeah, so we also reduced the stuff you can carry around by at least 50%. So you have to go back to town more often. You have to find a merchant more often. Ubisoft would have done that. Big publishers would have done that. They would have found a way to make it as tedious as possible, that you have to use this amazing feature they introduced. They can also ask real money from you. And then they can pretend as if they would do a good thing for you. That's what's going on with gaming. And that Baldur's Gate is not trying any of that. There are so many moments where, unfortunately, my stupid brain was going, oh yeah, if this would have been anything but a Larian game, somebody would have asked more money for it. Like, you would have paid through the nose. Hi, Tiny. Welcome in. It's just, yeah. This is why we have seen publishers, managers screaming from the rooftops to not look at this game too much and do not, under any circumstances, hold now publishers to higher standards. And you should. Because Larian Studios is also an independent studio. They don't have a big publisher behind them. They all funded this with mostly their money. I'm pretty sure that D&D / Wizard of the Coast / Hasbro gave them a bit of money. Maybe. Who knows? We don't know that. They don't have to tell us because they're a privately owned company. They don't have any shareholders. They have to please at the end of the year. Like, it's owned by Sven Winke, who is the CEO and founder of Larian, who also knows game design, right? And has developed games. Is still developing games. And he's the owner. Well, and his wife. But they're the owners. They don't have anyone to report to. They don't have to, like, tell anyone how the books look. And it seems to work for them. But again, Baldur's Gate 3, like, even I know I've been focusing quite a bit on the monetization, but unfortunately monetization is a huge rampant problem for a lot of games nowadays, right? But even gameplay-wise, the voice acting, the story, like, it is so good. It's not just a game of the year. It's a game of the next 5 years. We will look back 5 years down the line and go, look at this game. It is still exceptional. Maybe even 10 years from now. Well, we should probably get the new Larian game in like 2 or 3 years, because they have been already working on it. So maybe in the next 3 years we're getting the next big banger from Larian. I know. Who knows? But yeah, like, people will look back at this game and go, hot damn. What a game. And it's the crazy part is it doesn't stop. They are putting out patches after patches after patches with new content, with things people have been asking for, and not just small things. You know how like a lot of studios always go with the, oh yeah, the community asked for the fart button. We implemented it. Like completely, nobody asked for that, and it doesn't really matter stuff. No, they added a way to change the look of your characters. They added a new ending. They changed the Karlach story. And they basically called back the voice actors and were like, hey, could you come back here? We definitely need some new voice lines, please. Like, holy moly. Right? So they have been taking care of their community. They're communicating. The community loves how also the voice actors. I think I've never seen a game. I have never seen a game. Well, besides of Metal Gear Solid, maybe, where the voice actors are interacting with their community as much as they do. And there's some great stories. There's some great stories. There is the I think it was the Shadowheart actress who said, yeah, so my girlfriend is now playing through the game for the first time, and she is trying to date me. And everyone was like, "Aw, that's kind of cute." And then I think a few like a week later or so, it's like, "Yeah, so my girlfriend just murdered me in game because she was not happy with me and what I did in game." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm not sure how to take this." And it's like, okay, well, you have some couple issues to work out apparently. It's amazing, right? It's just amazing how the community is like interacting with all the voice actors and with the team itself. And the team listens, like even to issues, they're listening and they're changing stuff. Like this game is just, I could probably sit here for hours and talk about it. What this game has all been doing right. And this is the last thing I will say. And then we're moving on to our second game. All right. But yeah, talking about like all the things this game did right, there are a lot of things you would kind of expect from video games that everyone can do that. Like a lot of it is just quality control. That's it. Like a lot of the things Baldur's Gate 3 did right is quality control. This is for everyone joining. We are in the top 5 games of 2023, and in no particular order. And Baldur's Gate 3 is the first game I mentioned. Yes. But yeah, it's like a lot of it is just quality control. They're doing. It's quality control. Making sure that the game they're working on is doing what it is supposed to do. And yes, there were bugs. Yes, there were some performance issues, especially in the third act of Baldur's Gate 3. But it was isolated issues and things they fixed so fast that most people didn't even notice them because they didn't reach them in time before the fix came out. Like, yeah, okay. here I am playing City Skylines 2 3 months in nearly. Well, 2 months, let's be fair. 2 months in, and we're still waiting for most of the fixes. Great. But yeah, that was Baldur's Gate 3, a game I highly recommend. A game for the ages, that's for sure. Yep. Absolutely. So, and that leads us to the second game. A game which had, unfortunately, a lot of controversy in the recent weeks, which wasn't its fault. And this game came out of nowhere. I didn't stream it, really. I played it during my summer break, and I enjoyed the hell out of it because it was so surprising and something I didn't expect. And yes, we are of course talking about Dave the Diver. I know this game got a lot of flack in the recent weeks because it was in the indie category, and it's not an indie game. It's not. Right? It's not. The shock in the chat. It's not an indie game, right? It's financed by Nexon. And Nexon is everything but an indie studio. But Dave the Diver is basically Stardew Valley material in what it does. You have so many things this game is throwing at you at some point. It's crazy. Yeah, you are diving into the water, you are hunting fish, you also can try to catch them, and you have to bring them into your restaurant to then serve sushi to the people which are coming by. But you have to do special recipes, the seahorses. There is a lot you have to look out for, and then the game is extending. The game is extending beyond that, right? The game is starting to give you a farm you have to take care of. The game is adding a city system where you can talk and interact with other people, and there's even some gambling there where you can, you saw the seahorses, right? You can catch certain seahorses and train them and have seahorse races and whatnot. This game has so many gameplay aspects on top of their really cool aesthetics and an interesting story. Right, Michael Bang, who is definitely not Michael Bay, who needs something explosive in their life. The game has also a lot of charm. If you like the Asia style, right? There is a lot here. The story is also really interesting. There's some really cool boss fights you have to look out for. And again, the game is expanding more and more. Today they just got a new DLC, the first one for free. It's the Dredge DLC, which brings in Dredge. But I will finish this game in my winter break with the Dredge DLC. I've been pretty close actually to the end of the game. I've been putting a significant amount of time into it, and you don't even notice it sometimes. I've been sitting there and go oh yeah, cool, nice that I played for an hour. I think I can now play something else. And then you're looking at the clock and you go, what? What do you mean I played this for 5 hours? That's important. Oh boy. This game completely surprised me on so many levels, because it is one of those games which is slowly unlocking the gameplay mechanics, right? And so you're starting out slow. You are jumping into some water, right, on the surface. You were just getting some easy fish, and then you were going back into the sushi bar, and you're just taking care of the customers for the day, and that's that. That's that. Right? It's like super simple, but then the game opens up and it's adding more and more gameplay features. And I don't want to talk about too many of them because some of them are spoilery, right? So I don't want to take that away. But like also managing your restaurant, like taking care of the people there, especially at the beginning, it's a tough thing to do. It's a lot of work. It gets a little bit easier the more people you hire, if you want to hire more people. But it's such a rewarding game. So again, this game came out of left field, took me completely by surprise, and I enjoyed every minute of it. It's such a cozy game. Well, actually, it can be pretty stressful. It looks cozy, but there can be some stressful moments, especially the deeper you dive, and depending on which like fish you meet. It can be stressful. It can be stressful. But I was having fun with it, and I highly recommend Dave the Diver. And as I said, ignore the debate that this is not an indie game. No, it isn't. But that's it. It isn't. Right? And here's the farm you were getting. Spoiler a little bit. But again, the developers have also cared for the community. They have been listening to what the community wanted, and they released the game in a good state. Nothing was broken. Performance is good. No bugs, no crashes. And whenever the community requested something, they were like, oh yeah, we can put that in. Give us like a week or two, if it's not too big. And yeah, we can add that. So, good. Absolutely great. So again, I highly recommend Dave the Diver. Now, another game which, I will be honest, was I think the easiest pick. Right? I think it was one of the easiest picks I have done. But I was also surprised that I chose it, because when the game came out, I wasn't expecting something big. And it is Age of Wonders 4. Because here's the thing. Age of Wonders is a game series which has been existing for decades now. Yes, literally decades. The first came out in the 90s. And no, it's not. And this is definitely this is my third game of the year, because I wasn't sure that they could create a game which is not just living up to the other Age of Wonders game, but is actually significantly changing something. You know, when you were reaching your fifth game, technically fifth game, it's the fourth game in the series, but they had Age of Wonders Planetfall in between, which was just Age of Wonders, but sci-fi, right? It is the fifth game in the series, and you I have to admit, especially Age of Wonders Planetfall was a bit stagnant. Age of Wonders Planetfall didn't really add too much to it. They had some cool new features in it, but it was more like an expansion, right? While Age of Wonders 4 was really pushing the envelope on what they can do next. The biggest new feature is now the magic tomes. So yes, you're creating your race, you're creating your alignment, very D&D-esque, but now you are getting the tomes of power. And they are, how many tomes do they have now? 60 tomes? And every tome has a special alignment, like the Tome of Madness, which is like focusing on madness spells and whatnot, or the Tome of Fire, which has fire demons in it and fire attacks, and you need like an evil alignment or more chaotic alignment to actually unlock that tome. Like they're giving you so many possibilities to just create your dream faction. Like you can have demons who are following the light, right? You can go off the beaten path, and because of like, it's basically the old deck building. You build your deck of creatures and spells in a turn-based 4X game. And I never expected that to work. I never expected it to be this cool. Yeah, they had some issues at the beginning. Balance wasn't there, but balance, right? It's like, yeah, you learn very quickly what's OP and what isn't OP when you have millions of people playing your game. Right? Like even QA, even the testing of developers, like there is a limit on how much you can figure out when you have, let's say, 50 people doing the balance, doing the QA, and then on release you have millions of people playing your game, if you're lucky, and they figure out very quickly what's OP and what isn't, and that's completely fine. But again, this game, I didn't expect it. That's the reality of things. I thought they will go the safe way. They would just iterate a little bit, update here and there, and that's it. And not saying, you know what? Let's try something different. Still, it is Age of Wonders. It is very much Age of Wonders. But where it makes sense, we can try a radical new approach. Not a lot of game devs doing this nowadays anymore, and it's fun. And yes, they have already added lots of patches, lots of changes. There are 2 new expansions already out, which you don't need, by the way, for everyone is like, ooh, that's some extra money I have to put on. No, you don't. Just no, you don't. It's not needed. Like, the base game in itself is completely fine, believe me. Like, again, you have so many options on to create your own race, your own hero with special alignments and specialities, and you will have hundreds of hours in this game. I have hundreds of hours in this game, and I'm planning to have more hundreds of hours probably over the coming of years, because they're updating the game and they're adding more expansions to it. But if you like 4X games, if you're looking for something which is very close to Heroes of Might and Magic and how Heroes of Might and Magic would be today, then Age of Wonders 4 is your way to go. There's no question to it. It might be a little bit overwhelming at the beginning because there's a lot of stuff you have to learn. And even veterans, this game has a lot. This is also why I made some videos about it, right, on my Mole Under Management channel. And why so many people watch those videos, because it was quite a bit. It was quite a bit. A lot of the videos are outdated now because, well, they changed a lot. For the better. For the better. But Age of Wonders 4 definitely caught me by surprise. And I would have not thought that they iterate and change so much of the formula, which has been now around for 3 decades. That is impressive. That is really impressive, and it was successful. It was the most successful Age of Wonders they ever had. So, good for them. Now, the next game might be a little bit weird. Might be a little bit unexpected. Because let's be real here, nobody really expected anything from this game because nobody knew what this game will do. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people, after they played through the game, is still pretty confused about the things which are happening in this game. Right? So, let's talk about the most confusing game of 2023, Alan Wake 2. My God. This game, man. I would not talk about the story. Just know that the new ending patches out. I will see how we are doing it. I don't really know how to handle the new ending patch. For everyone who has been watching my playthrough, I have to see what we are doing with that. I'm not sure. So, yeah. But let's talk about the game. Alan Wake 2. So, it is definitely one of my top 5 games this year. But there's also a big fat warning label I have to put on this. And I will be honest, if I would have had a choice, I would have probably chosen another game. Huh? What? Why? So, again, it's complicated. First of all, the game looks gorgeous. I think this is the PS5 version we are looking at, which is running on the lowest graphic options and 30 FPS. If you have the PC for it, play it on the PC. It is gorgeous. Seriously, it is the best looking game out on the market right now. Like, nothing comes close to it. Nothing. It is remarkable, especially with ray tracing. It is so good. So good. Like, yeah, keep in mind that the PlayStation 5 version is running on the lowest graphic options on the PC, and it still looks pretty good. But again, graphically, it's just, yeah, just amazing. Absolutely amazing. What they have done with the fog, like you had a lot of like Silent Hill moments, and with the light, and like just in general, such a great looking game. Like, absolutely fantastic. Now, why do I say the things I said? Because there is a bit of a pre-knowledge is needed. You have to play Alan Wake 1. or you have to watch like a playthrough or something like that, even though I would recommend to do a playthrough of Alan Wake 1, which I wouldn't recommend in the year 2023. Even the remaster is sloppy. Let's just say that. By the way, for everyone watching this right now, if you're buying Alan Wake 2 right now on the Epic Store, which is the only place you can buy it on PC, you're also getting Alan Wake 1, the remaster, for free. So that's a neat plus, and it is absolutely necessary. I saw some streamers who saw like the awards Alan Wake 1 and the praise Alan Wake 2 got, not 1, 2. And they were like, oh yeah, we have to play Alan Wake 2. Oh yeah, we have to play that. And I'm like, have you played Alan Wake 1? Okay. Don't recommend. Have you played Control? Yeah. I mean, you can, funny enough, ignore Control and play Control after Alan Wake 2, which would probably be pretty fun. I could see that you can play Alan Wake 2 and then play Control. would be a pretty fun experience on getting more knowledge on what the hell is going on here. But just to make it clear, you need quite a bit of pre-knowledge to really enjoy this game and all the things they are doing with it. It's a bit like you watch Marvel Endgame, the Avengers Endgame, right? But you have not watched a single movie before that. Will you get some enjoyment out of it? Yeah, pretty much. I can see it. But is that really what you want? Is that really giving you the thing which will give you the most? No. No, it isn't. So you have to do quite a bit of homework before doing that. Before to actually enjoy this game, you have to do quite a bit of homework before that, which is problematic. Let's face it. That is problematic. And the one thing, as much as I love this game, the story, the music, the world design, like what they have done with this game to just push the next amazing Remedy Universe game, the combat is still ass. The combat is still ass. And that's the problem, right? It's a big part of the gameplay loop, and it just that's not great. That's not great when one of their main aspects of the game, one of the aspects which you will interact with quite a bit, the combat is still ass. Like, so often your camera, your characters acting sluggish, and not because it has to, but because they decided to make it that way and it doesn't feel good. But they are like, yeah, this is what the old horror games did, right? And you want that. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't need Resident Evil 1 camera angles and Resident Evil 1 combat. Like, holy shit, get that shit out of here. Quick combat awards in order, please. Control, Alan Wake 2, Alan Wake 1. But only because of Control is a very floaty game because of all the things you can do. And that's why you don't really notice it that much. And also you have infinite ammo. Like that is also a problem here in this game. You don't have infinite ammo, and you have to make sure that your shots are like they're hitting and they're good, right? You don't sometimes have the luxury. Another thing which I found absolutely annoying is that the game is giving you randomly ammo. It's not like Resident Evil where you know where to find the ammo. It's literally like scanning your inventory, how much ammunition you utilized, and then it decides if it wants you to give some ammunition or not, and that is still random. And it's like, why? Why? And I think the worst moments for me were the Alan Wake moments with gameplay, because Alan Wake definitely had more enemies to deal with than Saga Anderson. And again, didn't make the gameplay better. So it sounds like I'm complaining a lot about this game. But I just want to make sure that people understand why there is a big asterisk on Alan Wake 2 being one of my top 5 games of 2023. Did I actually enjoy the heck out of that game? Yeah, this is why I'm thinking again about playing through it quickly just to see the new ending. Right? Like, I had absolutely enjoyed my game from a story aspect, from a world building and world design aspect, the music. Like, this game brings me more joy than it actually makes it bad or anything, right? This is why I put it in the list. But if you are completely new as an outsider and you are looking at Alan Wake 2 and you go, oh, should I play this? I would say yes, but wait. Are you okay with sluggish combat? Are you okay with having to play or to watch Alan Wake 1? Are you okay with knowing what the hell happened in Control and what Control is? Again, you can play Control after Alan Wake 2. But believe me, it is so much better to play Control before this. Like, if you were saying, nah, I don't like sluggish combat, oh no, I don't want to play through 2 more games or even watch 2 more games, because that's also a few hours I have to put into, then no, I cannot recommend Alan Wake 2. Under those circumstances, I cannot recommend Alan Wake 2. Everything else? Yeah. Yeah. If you, like, here's the thing though. If you have played Alan Wake 1, and if you have played Control, you have probably already played Alan Wake 2. The chances that you missed out on this game when you have already played the previous games is very low at this point. It's very low at this point. So this is why I'm pointing this out for people who have not played it yet, because the chances are very high that you have not played the previous games, and you should. You have to. Like, especially the first one. Especially the first one. Like, it is so important. So that's Alan Wake 2. One of my top 5 games of 2023 with an asterisk behind it. Mole, why didn't you choose another game instead? Now here's the kicker. As I said before, I really think there was quite some good games in 2023, right? but there were not that many exceptional games. I think that's the problem, right? Like, and Alan Wake 2 was still freaking amazing. So let's face that. Now, there's one game left for one of the top 5 games of 2023. One last game. And I think this needs quite a bit of discussion. So, one of my last games I really enjoyed and I really loved, and I think is fantastic, is Phantom Liberty, Cyberpunk 2077. Now, this might come to a shock to some people, but I have to explain this. I have to explain this. Phantom Liberty is the Cyberpunk should have been from the get-go. If Cyberpunk 2077 would have been Phantom Liberty, we would have had a completely different discussion about Cyberpunk. Like, completely different discussion. And yes, Tiny, gladly. Why? Well, first things first, at this point, I think CDPR needed this. Like, it's not, I know it sounds like, wait, what? No, seriously, like, CDPR, I think, needed this shock that they are not gaming developer gods, that they are not like the top of the top developers. They're developers like everyone else, and the quality they bring into a video game is coming down to how the company is handling, well, their workers, how the company is doing stuff. And they have screwed it up completely with Cyberpunk. Like, we know, like, through interviews, with recent interviews with developers who clearly said Cyberpunk was a wake-up call, and more importantly, it was a wake-up call for management and how they treated people, right? Like, how they pushed people. And actually, people who are still with CDPR are grateful for that happened, right? Like, there was a recent interview which was very interesting, that after Cyberpunk 2077 came out, like, a lot of good people left, like really, really good people. And it seems like that the management was like, and then Cyberpunk failed, of course, and actual, like, the management was like, wait, what? Oh, well, seems like we did something wrong. Phantom Liberty was created without crunch, without over working hours. Like it has been, like, developers have been confirming of all areas that they have not really worked any overtime. Well, there's always like some overtime sometimes, right? It happens in every industry. Like, you're sometimes working a little bit longer because you really want to finish something. That's not something I'm complaining about. Shit, I'm working overtime sometimes, and I'm okay with it. But like, no overtime, no crunch. They listen to the team. They listen to what's possible. They were laser focused on what they want to deliver with Phantom Liberty, what's doable, what's not doable, and they just did their thing. But they also completely reworked Cyberpunk 2077. I did a full playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077 before Phantom Liberty, and I really enjoyed the heck out of it, because I couldn't bring myself to finish Cyberpunk 2077 back in the day, because it was ass. Is the story still not great? Yeah. Hasn't changed. It's still ass. Too much Johnny Silverhand and all that. But they completely reworked the gameplay. They completely reworked the itemization in the game. They completely made Cyberpunk 2077 an actual RPG instead of a mishmash of Call of Duty, first-person shooter, pew-pew, and a little bit of RPG mechanics. And also trying to slam in some GTA, if they can. And that brings us to Phantom Liberty, which is a relatively short game, right? But it focuses on the right aspects. It is telling you a compelling story where you have actually to make some meaningful decisions throughout the way, right? You have great characters. Solomon Reed, who is like one of the new main characters here in Songbird, absolutely fantastic, right? Like, really compelling, interesting characters with their own agendas, their own feelings, their own thoughts, and you can really interact with them and can talk to them, right? Like, whereas Johnny Silverhand in the first part of Cyberpunk is more like a narrator and actually main character. Like, yes, Jonathan Reed is very important, but he's doing its own thing. You don't have to babysit him, you don't have to interact with him all the time, you don't have to talk to him all the time. He is not like pushy on you in the way like, hey, let me tell you what I think about all of this the whole time, even though you really don't want to hear him to tell you what he thinks right now, right? Like Johnny Silverhand, like even Johnny Silverhand in Phantom Liberty was actually great. I think he was really good because he was not narrating the whole experience anymore, and he didn't try to be the main character anymore. He was just there for you and was basically your companion, right? And he was then throwing some shade here and there and giving his thoughts still. But it wasn't this, you were playing his story anymore. And believe it or not, that was one of the things which I found really annoying about Cyberpunk 2077. It was a bit of like, the base game was a little bit of a circle jerk for Keanu Reeves. Don't get me wrong, I really love Keanu Reeves. He is a great actor, and he seems to be a greater human being. But the whole Johnny Silverhand, like everything is about him, and if not, he makes it about him. And like in an RPG where you are creating your own character, it was conflicting. Like in The Witcher 3, you play as Geralt, and Geralt loves Ciri, and The Witcher 3 is about Ciri. And that makes totally sense, because Geralt would do everything for Ciri, right? You didn't have that in Cyberpunk. So, yeah. Like, Phantom Liberty had a great story, had good gameplay, focused. Like, yeah, Phantom Liberty, if you're looking at it from a purely like map perspective, Phantom Liberty is pretty small. It's a relatively small expansion. Bug free, no performance issues. Everything you do was like laser focused, right? Like, you were there with a purpose. You are playing Phantom Liberty with a purpose. In gameplay and in story. And character development and world design. Everything which was basically missing from Cyberpunk 2077, the base game. And if they would have done it in Cyberpunk 2077, right? If they would have done that, we would have had a completely different discussion about Cyberpunk 2077. We would have had a completely different discussion about this game. That was such a great scene, by the way. That was such a great scene. Like, 2023 is the year where Cyberpunk 2077 released, you could say. I know, it's like, no, Mole, it released in 2020. Yeah, it did release in 2020. You are absolutely right. It did. But it shouldn't. It shouldn't have. They should have just waited. You know. They should have waited. They should have given it more time. And they should have listened to their developers much sooner when the devs said, can't do, this is bullshit, this will not work, this is bad, let's not do this. And management was like, do it. Right? So, yeah. Again, Phantom Liberty, I highly recommend it now. I would even go so far to say, if you get it in a bundle, which I think it's now possible, there is the deluxe edition or something they're calling it. Just skip the base game and jump directly into Phantom Liberty, because you can do that. You can actually do that. You can just create a character which is then at the appropriate level and appropriate point in the game where you can play Phantom Liberty. And again, you should do that. Like, I enjoyed the hell out of it, and after I finished the main story, I even played the game afterwards off stream, just doing open world stuff. again, if this would have been the Cyberpunk experience, we would have had a completely different discussion in 2022 and 2020. But as I said, I think it was needed for CDPR, right? Like, especially for management to get a wake-up call and be like, yeah, it's not as easy as you might think. So, highly recommend it. And I would have never thought I would say that after the initial release. And for everyone who has the base game, check out the base game. They completely reworked it. Besides of the story. That's something they cannot just rework. But the gameplay, it's really good. It's really, really good. So, with that said, we are at the end of the top 5 games. As I said before, this was a crazy year for video games. Yes, there were other games. Lies of P. I still have Lies of P on my list, by the way. I might actually do some Lies of P when I'm back from my vacation. There's a pretty good chance for that. It seems like they are also finally done with Lies of P and the balancing and whatnot. It seems like they finally reached the sweet spot where they want to be. So I will probably do a Lies of P in January, and then I will realize what an amazing game that probably was, and I will be pissed that I didn't didn't have that on my Game of the Year list for this year. Yeah, I will probably be pissed at that. So, yeah, they're working on a DLC. I know that they're working on a DLC with new stuff to it. But yeah, I do think about I will probably do a playthrough. Like in January, I don't really have anything planned. I also wanted to do like a Cult of the Lamb playthrough when the sex update is in. Because that's a game which came out like what, over a year ago, 2 years ago nearly, and I didn't play it yet. And that game is still everywhere. Like it's a bit like it found the furry community, and the furry community keeps it alive. Because goddamn. One last thing. There is an honorable mention I want to do on one of the games I have been really enjoying, and we will probably play more tomorrow, is Lethal Company. Now that game is still in early access, so it doesn't count anyways. But Lethal Company, what a simple game. But what an amazing thing. If you haven't seen last week or 2 weeks ago, oh shit, where I played with the group, you should. It is hilariously great. And I cannot wait to play more of it. And we will probably do that tomorrow. There's a pretty high chance that we are doing that tomorrow. I keep you posted. But yeah, that was like my top games for 2023. And we would definitely talk about more games and what to expect in 2024 down the line. But first, let's talk about the shittiest gaming company of 2023 and the brownish turd molehill award for that company. As I said, 2023 has been a disastrous year for people who created games. We know that over 10,000 people lost their job. And a lot of them didn't have to. Like, as I said before, Hasbro just announced this week that they axed all the people who worked on Baldur's Gate 3. That is so insane from a company perspective, from business and economy perspective. Then you are like, what are you doing? To make this clear, Hasbro owns Wizard of the Coast, which owns D&D. So all the people who worked with Larian from the Wizard of the Coast side, who were in promotional material, who were there from the beginning, who helped Larian with all the things D&D related, and it was quite a sizable team. Axed. All of them. Gone. In a year where Baldur's Gate 3 is just tremendous. In a year where the D&D movie made them good money. In a year where people are gearing up for a new edition, where more things came out, and you're looking at the numbers of D&D and Wizard of the Coast, and they made Hasbro so much money that they basically keep the rest of the company afloat. And their thanks was nothing but to fire those people. Because, well, we have to reach our projections for our shareholders. That's the year we had in 2023. That's the year of gaming and game development we are in. Another announcement yesterday, Embracer did embrace again some of their studios, 3D Realms and Ironworks, who are basically working on the new Command & Conquer and is absolutely hyped. Strategy games are back, management games are growing bigger and bigger every year, and Embracer is just like, yeah, those people who are focusing on that, screw them, get out. It's like, why? Their studios are healthy. The games they're working on will probably become bangers. I mean, you just released Jagged Alliance 3 a few months ago, and it's apparently the, if not one of the biggest games for you, and it's a turn-based strategy game. What are you doing? Well, we promised the shareholders that they don't have to lose out on any money this year, so we have to do that. Like, wherever you go in the gaming industry, it's greed, it's protecting shareholders who have nothing to do with this, and frankly speaking, idiots in management positions which shouldn't be there because they have absolutely no clue what they are doing. They don't even have an idea on how to make money, apparently. It's insane. Like, I hear so often people telling me, you have to look at it from a company perspective. You have to look at it from an economy perspective. Okay, let's do that. Explain to me how probably the biggest moneymaker from a single game plus perspective was Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate 3. Without any predatory microtransactions. Shit. Even Hogwarts Legacy was like, here's the game, that's that. And it sold more copies than Call of Duty did this year. It's like, how is it those companies who are not going completely predatory on their transactions, on their workforce, are making the most money, but there are still people out there who are defending the greed of some people? I don't get it, and I don't want to get it. Because it's pretty shit. So, as you can see, 2023 was a rough year to choose a company who really just fucked it up. And then I found that company. A company who just said, hold my beer. I can do much worse. I can destroy decades of support. I can destroy the value of my company, the value for my shareholders, the value for my community, the value for my developers. I can destroy all that in a week time and just leave scorched earth. So devastating that they fired their CEO. And yes, of course, we're talking about Unity. I think I have never seen the gaming industry as a whole, community, developers, publishers, coming together and just burn that shit down. And congratulations, Unity. You got the brownish turd molehill of 2023 because you have done something I have never, ever seen in my life. And I have been with the gaming industry quite some time. But this, I think this was unprecedented. So what did they do? Well, TLDR, they had the idea that they have to make more money. And you know what? Everyone expected that. Developers were like, yeah, they cannot keep that up. They will probably raise the license you have to buy from Unity by like another 5%, so they are at least on the same level as Unreal. Maybe 10% if they are insane. And a lot of inside of the people of Unity, even managers, were like, yeah, that's what we would do. And then even the managers were absolutely flabbergasted by the decision the upper management / the CEO did in the end. And they said, hey folks, we will now take 20 cents from every game which is being installed and is using Unity retroactively. You can lower the amount of money we would take from you if you are paying for bigger licenses. And yes, that counts for demos, that counts for pirated games. Every time a Unity game is getting somewhere, somehow installed, we would take money from you, even if you released your game 10 years ago. And as I said before, I have never seen the industry reacting like this. But instead of just being like, whoa, holy shit, okay, this is bad. Okay, first of all, look, 95% of you will not be affected by this because you are not big enough. Yeah, you're just not important enough. You don't matter. And it's like, first of all, are you nuts? Second of all, yeah, but a lot of developers aspire to get there at some point. A lot of companies aspire to be in that 5% threshold. And the last thing they want is to give you like that much money on top. Third of all, they were not just scrapping the whole thing and they were writing an apology. They were slowly backing off from it, but still trying to push this. This post was the first apology post they did, and they were like, we want to be clear that the counter for Unity runtime fee installer starts on January 1st, 2024 and is not retroactive or perpetual. That wasn't in the first draft. In the first draft, they made it very clear that it was retroactive. That was the first draft they pushed out. So this was their first, we walk back on this. And then they were like, oh yeah, so also we looked at it and we are now providing ways to bring the runtime fee to 0 so that you don't have to pay for any of the installments. If you're using any of our ad products, Unity Gaming Service or cloud services, please contact us to discuss the discounts. Wow! Please put Unity ads into your video games and then we can discuss from removing the runtime fee. Holy shit. Like, it is just insane. And the first thing which happened is every smaller company was crying out loud and every major company was silent about it. But we know they were silent about it because they prepared the lawsuits. They treated this as a lawsuit in effect already, so they were not saying anything to not ruin their chances in court. That's why like a lot of major companies were completely silent on this, because they were just like, lawyer, come in here, we have to talk. Like, the amount of damage it did is unfathomable. We don't even know how big the damage is yet. Yes, people are like, oh yeah, look at that. They're still using Unity. There's still coming games out for Unity. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Because video games are being in development for 3 to 5 years. You're not changing engines mid-development or at the end of a development cycle. That's, you are not doing that. And apparently some people did. They reached out to Epic and they were like, can we do this easily? And apparently Epic was like, well, hello there. Welcome to this work environment. How can I help you? Oh, you want to move all your assets from Unity over to Unreal? Well, do I have news for you. Welcome aboard. Like, a lot of games will still come out for Unity, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few years, especially indie developers, will not touch Unity again. And they will probably go to Godot, because Godot, which is another new engine, which is also open source, is developing fast. Especially now after the whole Unity disaster. Godot got a lot of financial support, and it's now growing even quicker. But Unity has slashed their business so bad, their CEO decided to leave, aka he probably got told, you leave us or we kick you out. The damage to the company is crazy, so much so that Unity has to close down a lot of places worldwide. I think they announced 6 studios. Like, I know that the one here in Berlin is closing down by the end of the year, with a few hundred people working in it. And they're firing worldwide thousands of people because of the damage they did to themselves. And you know, I kind of wished, this is a stark warning to every company who is just too greedy, right? But the reality is probably not. As long as it benefits someone somewhere and it's not damaging the company too much in the progress, this won't be the last time. I mean, look at Unreal. Unreal was actually pretty close to win. Like, Unreal is definitely second place. You would have kind of thought that Unreal is smart enough to get something out of this. and then Tim Sweeney literally put an email out where they were talking about that Fortnite cannot sustain alone the amount of money they are burning anymore, which is insane when you think about how much money Fortnite still makes. And one of their biggest money losses for 2023 was the metaverse. The metaverse was a complete shit show, a complete down house. They wasted so much money, so much resources, so much time on the project. And he said that in his email. We screwed up. Metaverse is a failure. We have to fire people because of those mistakes. Right? We have to fire so many people because of that. Oh, and before I forget, 2024, the year of the metaverse. And you just read this letter and you go, what? How do you, what? You just said it was a financially failure. It's non-salvageable. And you declare the next year the metaverse year? I think some people like really scrambled their brains when somebody told them the metaverse. I mean, I get it. Think about that. The idea of a metaverse from a company economically perspective is that you are carving out a spot of the internet and completely put it under your control. If you think about that for just a few minutes, I think a lot of people would panic much more. It's basically the idea of for a company to control completely and utterly a part of the internet. It is under their control, and whatever they do there is law. News, information control, right? Like the money stuff. This is why we see so many companies trying to be the metaverse, the other internet. I mean, this is what X is kind of trying to do, right? They want to be so much more than social media. Like, they want to have the news control, the social media control, financial transaction control. It's the more you read into what the metaverse is supposed to be, and you finally realize what the metaverse is, it's like, you know what? I want that even less than I wanted before. So, yeah. But Unity just brought it home. Unity just brought it home this year. And again, there was a lot of contenders. There was a lot of contenders for that award. So don't get me wrong. It was like that award was actually harder to pick than my top 5 games. Like when I had to sit here and think about which company should get it this year, it took me a while. Like, it took me a while to make that decision. Which is, yeah, it's the thing. Now, with that said, we are done with the year 2023. Now, we are not done yet. We are not done yet. Oh no. Oh no. We are not done yet. We have 2 more things to cover. One is talking a little bit about the channel and all that. And of course, anticipated games in 2024. But before we do this, I will take a super quick bio break because we have been streaming for 2 hours. I've been talking for 2 hours without a break. Like, at least when I'm playing video games, I have some breather moments, right? Because I have to focus on the gameplay. This was just 2 hours of me talking. So I will take a super quick bio break here, but grab something new to drink. And then we are jumping into the 2024 games I'm looking forward to. And we talk a little bit about this. So don't go anywhere. I see you in just a few minutes. And you know what? I think I will leave you alone with the newest song from Guilty Gear, because they got a new character and they got a new song for that character, and it's a song. So see you in a few minutes.
Ignite the drive in your soul. It's calling you. Are you brave enough to be a fool? I'm so unconscious. Don't talk to me away.
Exactly. It's a new, it's called Extras, and it's the new theme song for Alfred Valentine, who just came out in Guilty Gear. It's fantastic, like most of the songs. People have been a little bit, well, not pissed completely, but some have been not happy with the redesign of her. Let me show you the character, because she lost her bunny ears. Let me see. Oh, great! Safe search blurring is on. Now that's good. That's good. Thank you for that. Thank you for saving me there. Yeah, let me show you like the old design of her, and then I can show you a new design. Let me see. Oh, that's bad. Let's not do that. That will get me into some big trouble here. That's fine. That's fine. And putting that there. And putting that here. And now I can show you this without being eternally blocked by YouTube. Awesome. That's a nice thing. So this was her previous design, right? This was her old design, so to speak. And she had like some bunny ears and more booba, very important, more booba. And this is her new design. Like, this is the actual Guilty Gear Strive design. And she's now a death metal, thrash metal singer with a big gun. I like her new design. It's less... I think with Guilty Gear Strive, I love that they have some characters they are really redesigning and trying to get a little bit more away from the tropes and try to actually give them some character and all that. You know, instead of just being the lady with the big boobs. So, yeah. But that's her theme song. And I like that quite a bit. That's a good song again. All right. But now we have to talk about the really important things in life. And that is releases. Yes. Let's talk about the releases for 2024. And then as a wrap up, we are talking about a little bit about me. Yes, about me. I'm important here. I'm the main character. No, I'm not. Oh, God. Oof. But we will talk about the YouTube channel. So, we will go through the release list. And we will just see what we have there, shall we? And then definitely talk about some other games. So this is the release list. We're in January 2024, as you can see. Prince of Persia Nah. Not too much interested. The news cycle, yes. Very much, yes. We played the demo of this, and it's fantastic. It's basically Anno in a post-apocalyptic scenario, but also a bit like RimWorld in that regard. This looks, again, it looks stunning. They have some really cool mechanics. I loved the demo when I played it, and I want to play more of it. So the news cycle is on the list, as they say. Very much reminded me of Anno, post-apocalyptic version in a lot of ways. So yeah, we would definitely check that out when that is going into early access. Then we have, Tekken 8. Nah. I'm sorry. I will watch it, but nah. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. As much as I would love to say I'm looking forward to this game, I have to play through Like a Dragon 7, and we tried that on release, and I failed. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Maybe I give it another chance. But right now, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is on a no basis. Yeah. Which is a bit unfortunate. But maybe. I will not promise anything. It's a big maybe. Pal World, well, if it's really coming out in January, we will check that shit out. I mean, it cannot get worse than the day before. Yes, that's the Pokemon game, if you still remember this. It's the open world Pokemon game, where you can also use the Pokemons as your working slaves. Yeah. And they have a minigun. Like, yeah. Yeah. It's like this game. Man. Oh yeah, also you have an assault rifle. Yeah. Yeah. Now the problem is that this game, look at them slavering away. The problem is that this game is made by the people who made Craft World, and man, that was a shit game. So yeah, but we will still check it out, because why not? Why not? Suicide Squad. No. No. Absolutely not. Everything I've been seeing from this game, I don't want to touch that. So, no thanks. Helldivers 2. Oh, hell yeah. I will also try to see if we can like make a community day, or maybe I will play it with some other streamers. But Helldivers 2 looks absolutely stunning, and I remember this one. Sweet Liberty. This was great. Like, I'm so looking forward to Helldivers. I know they're now doing the third person instead of a top-down shooter, but it looks just absolutely stupid, and lots of pew-pew killing bugs and other things, and bringing democracy. Which is kind of funny, because you were absolutely playing under a totalitarian regime. But hey. No, like, it looks great. I'm looking forward to it. The first one was already pretty fun, and there was as a top-down shooter, and this looks like stupid fun I'm looking forward to. So Helldivers 2 is definitely on the list. We'll see if we can do some community nights or streamer nights, because this game seems to be a riot with more than one person. So that's up there. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. We will play Banishers. We will play Banishers for sure. If you don't know what this is by Dotnod. This is their new vampire, so to say. Well, it's not vampire, but it's by the same team who made Vampire, and that team has been working on this game for quite some time, and I'm looking forward to it. It looks cool. It looks actiony. Seems to be some interesting story with especially your ghost wife. And there's basically the idea of you are somebody who banishes ghosts, but the problem is your wife is a ghost. So, it's like, well, that's still looks dull. Your opinion? I think it looks good. I have to see some. I think what I would like to see, to be completely honest here with you, I would love to see uncut gameplay of this. Like those trailers, it could be, as you said, a completely boring experience, or it could be really good. But unfortunately, with the trailers they have been showing, no. Like I can see why people are like, you know. It's I can totally see the problem here. Sucker for Law, I don't even look. If I will not click on that. Skull and Bones. Yes, I'm ignoring the Tomb Raider remastered ones. Sorry. Skull and Bones. There is a beta starting today. And I think this is the most insane beta I have ever heard in my life. So the beta is running the whole weekend. But you can only play for a total of 6 hours. I'm like, what type of beta is that? What? I have never heard about a time-limited beta. What? So I don't care. I don't care for Skull and Bones. Like, again, 6 hours beta is the weirdest shit I've ever heard in my life. Hey, Director, welcome back. Yeah, Tomb Raider remasters. I think a lot of people are looking forward to it. They look pretty neat. I don't care too much for it. I didn't like the Thaumaturge. Didn't click with me. Last Epoch. Hell yeah. That is a game I'm very much looking forward to. And we would definitely put some good amount of time in it. Well, up till Pacific Drive is coming out, because that game, welcome back, Draco, looks absolutely stunning. Yeah, this is the open world driving thing with Cthulhu monsters and whatnot. Like, for everyone who hasn't seen it, basically the car is the main character in this game, right? And you are driving through a zone which has been devastated by some Cthulhu-esque presence, and you are trying to find things there, and yeah, just it looks so good. Survival game, but different. it looks sweet. Like, since the first trailer, I think 2 years ago. So I'm really looking forward to this game. So Pacific Drive is on the hell yeah list. Hell yeah. So we will definitely check that out when it's coming out. They have been postponing it quite a bit. So we will see if they're keeping it up this time. Welcome to Paradise is a game we would check out. I don't know yet if it will be good. It's a survival zombie game. I know. But it looks interesting what they are trying to do there, especially the idea of you can actually like control the zombies and catch them, right? And make them basically your own, which is fascinating to say the least. So it's a bit different. Yeah, friendly zombot. So now you have zombies working for you. As long as they're in range of a pylon. Yeah. So this might be fun. This might be absolutely stupid. This might be absolutely bad. We don't know yet. But I would definitely check it out. I'm a sucker for those type of stupid games. Now and then. I need some stupidity in my life. Infinite Siege, maybe. We will see. March. I might check out Expeditions. No promises. I would definitely check out Homeworld 3. Definitely. Yes. Then we have Outcast, A New Beginning. I might check that out. That's pretty neat. Alone in the Dark. I don't know. Especially not 2 days before Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out. We will do a thorough playthrough of Dragon's Dogma 2 when it comes out in March. 100%. What else? Lightyear Frontier, we might check that out. We might check that out depending on when it comes out. What else? What did I miss? A lot. Top 5 games, Shittiest Company, and you can all watch that in the recap if you so desire. Yeah, we are now on the games I'm looking forward to, and also things which happened here, or will happen here on the channel. Locomotive, played the demo. It's a great point-and-click adventure game, very much old school, Monkey Island. It looks fantastic. It plays pretty smooth, and yeah, again, we played the demo and had a great humor. And I'm planning to jump back into that game when it comes out. It's apparently coming out in March. Also, I hope. Oh, it's on the list. Have an eye out for Locomotive. But that was Q1. Let's see, do we have anything else for Q1? Broken Roads. Maybe. Not promising anything. Let's see, what else do we have here? Well, we don't know anymore if Tempest Rising is still coming out. Oh yeah, Stalker 2, if that is coming out, we would definitely do a full playthrough of it. Man, the first quarter of 2024 seems to be insane when it comes to releases. I doubt that the Elden Ring DLC is coming out quarter 1. So oh, that's nice. Yeah, I saw him in E-Rock's channel the other day, by the way, Drecker. I was hanging out there when he was in there and talking to him, and when E-Rock was checking out Once Human. It's a lot of games. The first 3 months of 2024 will be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see some pushbacks. Zao is not my type of game. I'm shitty with those jumping games. Yeah, we don't really have anything in April and May. That's interesting. Path of Exile 2. Well, closed beta. We would definitely check that out. What? Braid? What? Who? Oh yeah, Braid. Yeah. Yeah, they announced this a while ago. They're basically bringing back Braid updated. So yep. But yeah, Path of Exile, I would try to get into the closed beta like every other person in existence. I assume. I have no connection to grinding gear games. I have to reach out to them. But I also want to get my RP channel a little bit more into order. And I hope that Last Epoch will be a good point for that. So, yep. That is definitely up the list. Replaced is up the list. Looking forward to that. Let me see. Nope, not the new Sam & Max. I think that's everything for quarter 2. Wukong, if it really comes out at that time, sure. Space Marine, if it comes out at that time. Once Human is coming out in the 3rd quarter. Yeah, we know that. They will take their sweet, sweet time with it. Dragon Age is not coming. Oh yeah, Baby Steps. I'm looking forward to Baby Steps, man. It was like this will be a silly game, even if it's just for a day before I'm going completely crazy here. Yeah, we would definitely play the game when it comes out. This is by the creators who made Getting Over It. And it looks absolutely bizarre and hilarious. So we would definitely check that out. And that's basically the games. Oh yeah, Vampire the Masquerade is coming out. Well, we will see. We will see. We will also see when it comes out. I believe it when I see it. I believe it when I see it. Shh, no, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Yeah, like... Look, man. I'm kind of okay that they stick with it and that they are trying their best. But I'm also like, oh, well, I will just check it out when it comes out. there is no hype. Really anymore. It also looks more like Vampire than Masquerade. But hey, they're trying to salvage what there is to salvage. So we will see how that goes. Lost Records. What's that? Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, right. We saw the trailer. I have to see more of it. Inzoi, we would definitely check that out. We will also check out the Sims game by Paradox. Like as I said, 2024 is still good. Right? Like 2024 is still a good year for gaming. We have tons of games coming out. Indie, AAA, AA. We have amazing games coming out next year. So I'm not really concerned about 2024 and the games. The Wolf Among Us 2. Yeah, right. I mean, we will play it when it comes out, but still, I don't think it's coming out next year. Era, we will definitely check that out. There's some games missing here. Star Wars Outlaws, nah. Avowed, if it comes out next year, sure. Sure. Absolutely sure. If it comes out next year. Again, I think that 2024 has a lot of good games coming. Especially the first 3 months will be insane. Absolutely. Oh yeah, little Guardsman. We would do. What's Fruit Buzz? What? Oh god. Adventure. Indie. Something about fruit. You're selling fruit to animals. You kill them with your food. And apparently, banana, you're exploring. That looks actually kind of sweet. Not gonna lie, this looks kind of cute. Ew! Ew! Oh my god, he loves it. That looks actually kind of cute. Good eye. Good eye. Yeah. That's cute. I love this list. I have definitely found some interesting gems like Totally Spies, which doesn't even have a trailer. Well, that's unfortunate. You never get what you want. Where was I? Little Guardsman. Yeah, man, I'm so looking forward to this game. I'm really hyped for this. I'm really hyped for this game. I loved the demo. It took us 2 hours to finish the demo, and it was far too quickly over. It was far too quickly over. And it annoys the shit out of me. It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. That's an insane volume of hair. Lil is loves hair. Yeah, I think it's by the it's being voiced by Guybrush. I think the voice actor is Guybrush.
This moron doesn't speak for us. Mind if we just leave? Lil, do speak up. I can barely hear you over all that racket. Do not admit anyone else today. We're full up. Toughen out.
Is it that you don't have it, or that you don't want to give it to me?
Orlando was a real pardon my gobbler.
Wait a minute, you're gonna give me, a 12-year-old, the power to rewind time?
Well, I wasn't going to, but that's a much better idea. Try not to do any irreversible damage.
Yes.
Will, wake up.
I'm so looking forward to this. I'm so looking forward to this. Like, I played the demo and I loved the shit out of it. So, yeah. This game, I think, will never release, chat. I think it was announced like 2 years ago. And I think it never... I don't think we have a release date. I don't even know, like, is this still in limbo? This game looks fantastic, like the art style and whatnot.
Like any...
Let me see if I can,
Looks like he's reading the letter he received.
Yeah, so you are like a monster hunter?
During travel, you can engage with various people. Sometimes to buy goods, or simply ask for direction. Ever since leaving the mansion, strange-looking creatures constantly appear. Here he is surrounded by a mob, striking and sticking the blade into enemies to pull and throw them around. During his travels, Billy needs to resort to his survival instincts and make use of whatever he has to survive.
It looks great.
Often being exposed to the harsh side of Mother Nature. A desert environment is...
It looks great. But we still don't know when it comes out. Little Nightmares 3, yes please. We would definitely play that. Like, again, there's still like quite a bit of games coming out next year. So I'm not even worried about 2024. There's a lot coming our way. Yeah. The Plucky Squire. Looking forward to that. I mean, that looks fantastic. I'm not sure if Rest for the Wicked is coming out next year. But if it comes out, yes. Yes. Rest for the Wicked is... Oh my god. Like... Oh! Well, that's unfortunate. That is such a dumb thing. Well, it looks fantastic, I can tell you that. I hate that so much. If you're like, what was that? There was the age restriction of YouTube. And they were like, you are only allowed to watch this on YouTube. I was like, oh. Also, can I get out? Can I get out? Okay. Well, fixed it. Weird. Anything else? There will be quite a bit of indie games and smaller games I'm definitely looking forward to, but I don't really have a problem with that. I don't really have a problem with that. Keep in mind they're also putting a lot of games here where they don't even know if those games are coming out. Like, often or not, Oh yeah, Senua's Saga is coming finally out next year. Also, they say Frostpunk 2, looking forward to that. Keep in mind that they're also liking to put like a lot of games here, like Half-Life 3, and you are like, what? Like they sometimes have some games here where you're like, tell me more. But yeah, like they had tons of games coming out, so I am pretty Pirates Dynasty, looking forward to that one as well. Yeah, like tons of games, but those are the games I'm definitely looking forward to, and more. So again, 2024. Why do I think 2011? Lol. That's fantastic. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about this here. This. So, as you know, we did go back to YouTube in August, and we left Kick, and I am pretty glad about that decision. Yeah, that was a good decision. Not because like Kick is not growing or anything. I think Kick is still growing. They're burning a lot of money for it, but they're growing. But in the last few weeks, they had multiple incidents again, and I was just like, yeah, okay. Well, that's good. Instead of just having some harassment against women, they are also now having anti-Semitism on their platform. And they have literally streamer asking for shooting all the Jews. And it's like, what? And the only reaction from Kick is to be like, oh my god, you should watch that stream, it's amazing. And you go, yeah, no, thanks, no, I don't want to have to do with any of that shit. And if you were supporting that just for clout and for clicks, in my book, you're a Nazi. Like, get fucked. Yeah. Like, nah. Nah. Just get fucked. Like, I'm glad, like, I gave it a try. I thought maybe, yeah, I said it from the beginning, right? I was always aware that they wanted to be the edgelord, and this is how they try to get viewers and all that, and I would have carved out my own place on the platform without all the edgelords and all that. There was at least a plan, the idea, but the reality is just, no, they have a much, much bigger problem. So I'm kind of glad that we moved away from it. And now we are back on YouTube. So let's talk about my YouTube channels. ChaosMole Plays is growing. I have to finish the last few uploads for Alan Wake. I will do that in my break, so that is done and cohesive, right? I have seen especially American Arcadia that was a pleasant surprise for subscribers on my channel and viewer numbers on my channel. American Arcadia actually did draw a little crowd. Nothing crazy, nothing to write home about. We are talking about low 20s and a few hundreds here and there. But that is still a signal for me, at least, that there is potential. I really just have to get better at playing cohesive games, man. Too many games I'm giving up on. And I think it is good to have games which are a little bit smaller, where you don't have 20 million other Let's Players do their playthroughs. Like American Arcadia. Wonderful example of that, right? It is big enough that people have heard of it, but it's small enough that probably most Let's Play channels will never touch that game. So people take what they can get. And that's me. So that's good. I want to keep an eye out for that. And I have to figure, I have to really just push through and do some like actual playthroughs, and have to, I probably have to do like a plan or something. Like it's on me. That's on me. That's completely a me problem, and I have to figure that out. Mole RP. Terraceland did freaking fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm curious to see how Once Human will do. But Terraceland is a wonderful example of a game which doesn't have the broad appeal again, but enough people know about this, and there are just not enough YouTubers who are covering that game. Like, my videos about Terraceland have been brought in tons of subscribers and thousands of views. How much is my Mole Thoughts video on Terraceland right now? Let me see. We have YouTube Studios. Yeah, unfortunately, my Once Human video did badly. Maybe I should change the thumbnail again. Maybe the other thumbnail was better. Yeah, the click-through rate is shit. Let me see. Maybe the thumbnail is not great. That's the thing. Thumbnails can make a huge difference. Let's see if that helps. But yeah. So interestingly enough, my Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred expansion thing had 4,000 views, and the Terraceland beta thoughts have been 2,500 views, which is really good. Like, I mean, let me show you this. This has been really good. This has been really, really good. The Terraceland. So I will definitely keep an eye out on Terraceland. That's for sure. That's for sure. Unfortunately, the Once Human, Once Human one is not. It's not doing too well. But, what can you do? What can you do, right? You win some, you lose some. Yeah, people didn't click on it. Oh, that's why. That's why people didn't click on it. people now click on it? Oh, because YouTube was like not showcasing it to a lot of people. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, well. But the Mole RP channel will definitely focus on Last Epoch a little bit more. I will definitely make more Last Epoch videos. So that will be a thing. I will do that. And then there will be more RPs. There will also be some survival games. But it's kind of interesting. My impression click-through rate has been pretty bad as of late for the Mole Under Management channel. And I'm trying to figure out what I do wrong thumbnail-wise. That's something I have to figure out. Like, it's definitely still, I have to figure this out kind of deal with where to go. Right? Like, YouTube in itself is such a weird thing. Right? Like, this video here in particular is the first 3.5 days, YouTube didn't show this video to a lot of people, like 5,000 people on the platform. And then at day 4, they were like, yeah, let's crank this up. Unfortunately, my impression click-through rate is not great. It has been tanking. Don't ignore this. Ignore this. This is just right now. It's a live update. It's like it's sometimes weird. But yeah, that's not great. My impression click-through rate has been bad, and I'm trying to figure out what am I doing wrong? What is it in my thumbnails or even in my title I have to improve? And it's still like one of my biggest problems and concerns I have. Like it was always something which unfortunately was not doing so well. Right. Let me see. Yeah, let me show you something. Why not? So this is the Mole Under Management channel for the year 2023. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm definitely happy with it. I learned a lot on this year. Now keep in mind I have just created this channel, and I know a lot of people will look at the estimated revenue. Don't. That is the one thing you can completely ignore. Don't look at that. Like, not only didn't we even had like any revenue, this is also just revenue from subscribers. So yeah, like don't. Yeah, that spike in April is Age of Wonders. That's Age of Wonders. Yep. That's Age of Wonders. May, to be more precise. There it is. My #1 video with 27 views. Yep. Then there was my review for the Settlers. Age of Wonders did really well for the channel. Age of Wonders did really well. I mean, City Skylines also did really well for me. Stranded Alien Dawn did actually also do pretty well. So everything did do pretty well for a channel. I started out in January, right? I did some videos here, but nobody really cared for it. And then I became a little bit more. This is where I tried more, right? And then I kind of dropped the ball on it again. Right? I kind of dropped the ball on it again. And then I became more serious in September again, trying to get more views. So, yeah, like, interestingly enough, my live VOD is doing much better than my thought on the early access. What the hell, man? Oh yeah, that was the one. I think they promoted the shit out of it. Yeah. They promoted the shit out of this VOD. This is not right. When I wasn't live. This was the one I pre-set up. And YouTube promoted this to 18,000 people 12 hours before the stream in the middle of the night. I was so pissed on this. I was so pissed off this. So pissed. They literally promoted the stream to 18,000 people when it wasn't even live. Why? When it wasn't even a video, there was nothing there. I am so angry about this. This was actually like one of the moments where I didn't understand what they are doing. This was the first time where I was actually really angry on YouTube. So yeah. Thanks, YouTube. Thanks. But I will be honest, this has been pretty amazing. This has been pretty amazing. I just, like, this year has been a sign to me on what is possible, especially with a strategy channel and what I can achieve. I'm still lagging on the execution in certain areas, like thumbnails. I have to get better. It's just so hard for me. It is the hardest part. If somebody is asking what's the toughest part on creating a YouTube video, thumbnails. This is definitely something I hate. Thumbnails do or break your video. You can have the best video in YouTube history. I don't, but just as an example. If you do not have that extra thumbnail, you're screwed. I have to admit, I have been doing for the last 2 weeks, I've been doing some TikTok videos, mostly reused stuff from my YouTube videos, right? And the amount of views I'm getting in comparison, Oof. I wished, man, on YouTube. I wished. And again, it's not special YouTube. It's not special TikTok videos. I'm not doing special stuff. It's literally just I'm taking the videos from my YouTube channel, which are not longer than 10 minutes, and I just put them on my TikTok channel. And because there are no thumbnails you have to create, you just have to use the right hashtags, which I think I'm pretty decent at. And yeah. Let me see. So this has 59 right now. We will see how it goes in the next few days. Let's see. I have the same thing on TikTok. Let's see how TikTok does. The glaring white. Can we please change this TikTok? Why is this white? Yeah, my TikTok is black. It's dark mode, but the creator platform is white. Awesome. That's something. Oh hey. I mean, not too shabby. It's not bad. But there's my TikTok for the same video. 219 views. Keep in mind, this is a relatively new TikTok account, right? Like keep that in mind. Damn. All the young people. And then a lot of people just left. Man, they really don't want to see my face, huh? I just posted yesterday, so there isn't too much of a performance. But long story short, I really, yeah, I know you old people don't use TikTok, and strategy games are probably a pretty bad choice for TikTok because it's slow. But we will see. I will let it run in the background. But long story short, I'm pretty happy with my Mole Under Management channel. For an experiment I have definitely neglected in the first half of the year. I mean, look at that. I had too many months where I didn't do anything. So you could say I have achieved all of this in half a year. Yes, April, but then after April, I literally had nothing for June, July, August, and then I slowly ramped it up in September again, at the end of September. Like, so from January to April, which is 4 months, and then from June to September, which is another, well, 3 months. Yeah, so 7 months of not really utilizing my channel in any shape or form and not doing too much. I did something here. It was definitely one of those let's find shit, right? But half the year I didn't really utilize the Mole Under Management channel, and in just half a year, respectively, I did 105,000 views out of nothing, 566 subscribers. Like, for a channel which doesn't have a support structure, like, don't get me wrong, I am pretty sure a lot of you folks have been watching my videos, and I thank you for that. I truly, truly do. but for the algorithm, in comparison to some, when a big YouTuber is like, yeah, I created this YouTube channel from nothing. It's like, what? You have half of your community coming over with you, and you have 2 million subscribers or something. Let's try. Right. It's just, this makes me proud. It makes me proud and happy of what was achieved here. Yes, it can get better. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Absolutely. There's no question that I want to improve. I want to achieve 1,000 subscribers, hopefully by April next year. That would be great. I would definitely love to do that. Also realize that a lot of my content, which gets sometimes the biggest attention, is even like content which I, well, not always, but sometimes did before a game came out. Like, look at that. Those are 3 videos of a game which wasn't even out yet. Well, yeah, that makes sense with when the game came out, everyone saw what the game was. So definitely lift off the hype here. But the same goes for this. And the same goes for this, right? Those are 2 videos for a game which wasn't out yet. So my pre-release coverage of games seems to be what really drives some views in. And I have to plan for that better. I have to plan for that better in the future. I have to get my shit together and plan for them in advance. So what I want to do next year. Mole Under Management channel, definitely the focus still. Then we have the Mole RP channel. With the beginning of next year in January, I want to start to create more Last Epoch videos to slowly be recognized by the algorithm, and then the closer we are getting to the Last Epoch release, I want to be there when it happens. We also have some other games coming up, like Enshrouded and some survival games, which are more RP focused, and I definitely want to not give up on that. And the Mole Let's Play channel, I just have to focus on some playthroughs, man. I just have to do some playthroughs. But so my idea hasn't really changed that much. But I have to pull it through. I definitely had some days this year, or some weeks even altogether, where I just couldn't, where I didn't have the power to make it happen, and I definitely missed out on some opportunities there, which angers me the most. It totally angers me, but I also couldn't. And it's like yesterday, right? Like yesterday, I didn't stream. I did make the Pioneers of Pagonia video, right? So it was not like I didn't do anything, but didn't have the energy yesterday. Like, reality is I'm dealing with a few things here and there. Also, health stuff has been a little bit in the way for certain things, which don't really don't really want to talk too much about. But yeah, they definitely also got in the way. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I know that some people will laugh at this, have been laughing at this. And I don't give a shit about those people. Like, I'm done with them. Cut them out of my life. So, go fuck yourself. But it took me a year to kind of figure out what I really want to now. Like, now I'm completely focused on YouTube, and I will stick with YouTube no matter what. Like, even if there is a new platform. Now, if Microsoft wants to bring back Mixer, if Microsoft wants to bring back Mixer, no. I'm just now sticking with YouTube. I should have done that much sooner. Right? I should have done that much sooner. And the only thing which annoys me is that how long it took me to realize what I want. Right? Like, to figure out where I want to go with my channels and what I want to do. And that's what kind of annoys me. The length it took me to just do the right thing. Right? Like, yeah. I think that's the only thing I'm really annoyed by. That's the only thing I'm really annoyed by. How long it took me to figure out the platform I just stick with. You know. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that 2024 will be as exciting as 2023. I am looking forward to a lot of strategy games. Maybe even a new Tropical? Maybe? Maybe? No? Probably not. From what we heard of recently, if you don't know, Tropical 7 is in development, we know that. But from what we know from the studio, they have actually created for Tropical 7 this year, I think it was in June or July, they announced that they basically they have fired the leadership and all that because Calypso wasn't really happy with where the game was going. So they were just like, yeah, here, leadership and management in the studio, you, and you get lost. We look for new people. We don't like where this is going. And it's like, oh boy, great. As a Tropical fan who unfortunately had some disappointments in the Tropical series, it's like, oh, come on, man. Oh, why are you doing this to me? I mean, here's the thing. If in the end we are actually getting a tropical game, which is finally the game Calypso has envisioned and the community has kind of envisioned. Like, so for everyone who doesn't know this, Tropical has been in development by quite a different studios. They had one consistent studio with Hamian games, starting with Tropical 3 up till Tropical 5. And after Tropical 5, Hamian Games, who also did make Surviving Mars, and their last game, Stranded Alien Dawn, which is like the RimWorld game we've been playing here on the channel, is all by the same studio. It's by the people who made Tropico. And with Tropico 5, they were like, peace out. And then for Tropico 6, they got Limbic Studios. And Limbic Studios got immediately removed after the release and the kind of disaster Tropico 6 was. So the studio who then took over was the people who also made Dungeons. So they worked on all the bug fixes and they worked on all the DLCs, but they are not a Tropico studio. And because they also had their own thing with Dungeons 4 they were working on, and yeah, they just took care of it. And then for Tropico 7, Calypso announced that they have formed their own studio for the very first time. And they would now work on Tropico 7. So they were apparently working for at least a year on the game. And then this year they were like, yeah, so we are swapping out all of the leadership and all of the people there because they have a different direction for the game than we have envisioned. And it's like, good, because that is exactly what people have been demanding for a while. Like whenever there was a problem with Tropico, people were like, what the shit is going on there? And Calypso was always answering, well, you're right. We are also not happy with this, and this is not what we wanted. That was always their answer. Their defense was like, yeah, this is also what we didn't want it. So this time, they cannot say that anymore. They are now in charge. They are making all the decisions, and if it blows up in their faces, that's on them. And nobody else this time. Also, hoping you're not hearing that. Man, that's loud. That's pretty loud. Damn. If you're like, what the hell is that? Street cleaner. Cleaning the streets. Every 2 weeks. Like a clockwork. Actually, normally not on Friday. Normally they are like in the middle of the week. Whatever. But yeah, like there are definitely some games I'm looking forward to when it comes to strategy games, when it comes to RPGs, and even with like playthroughs. I'm looking forward to that. I have to find a way to manage my energy better, to manage the time I have better, because as I said, creating thumbnails is really tough. Time is also sometimes on the essence, especially if you have to get up against bigger YouTube channels. But you sometimes cannot control that because things are coming out of nowhere, and then you have to scramble and you have to just push through. Like, I think I really just, this is the last thing I will say, and then we're wrapping it up here. I think I really just have to push through with making streaming the lowest priority when it comes to making a decision what I want to do with that day. But it also pains me because I love streaming. Love hanging out with you guys. I really do. It's just, you know, I've been now doing this for 7 years, and the last 3 years have been not a waste, but basically with what I want to do, I didn't really reach my goals. Well, in the last 2 years. I can definitely say that this year was doing much better. Like, let's not count this year into the last 2 years. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Because it isn't. That wouldn't be fair. But for the last 2 years, I was pretty much in limbo. And that's 2 years. We're not talking about 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months. We're talking about 2 years. That's quite a time. So, yeah, I just have to make some decisions better, and I really have to push myself, but it's hard. It's hard. Sorry. But one last thing, and then we're wrapping it up here. Folks, for everyone who's watching this live, for everyone who's watching this as a VOD, and for everyone who finds us after some time, thank you so much for your support. Like, seriously, the people who talked to me, reached out to me, the people who watch my videos, people who are showing up here nearly every day in the live stream, who have been also promoting my channels when they can. Thank you. Like, you have no idea how much that means. Right? Like, thank you very much. Also, thank you so much for all the people who have been supporting this channel also on the next step and supported it financially. Right? Like, that is crazy. So, thank you so much for people who have been doing that, because I know it's like the next bigger step. So thank you for all the people who have been subscribing / membershiping. God damn it, YouTube. Thank you very much for that. Apparently YouTube is telling me that I can now give out free memberships per month, but I haven't seen that yet. They're telling me for days, oh yeah, it's a thing now, and I'm going on YouTube and it's not a thing. They're lying. They're doing the YouTube thing of announcing something, telling it's live, and then it isn't live. It's like, okay. All right. But for all the people who have been already supporting the endeavor, I also own you a playthrough of Toonstruck. I might actually play it in my break. I might actually do that and upload it. Or maybe I'll do a live stream. I will see. Whatever I will find. Because we have reached the €100. Now, unfortunately, I had to buy a headset. So how much money did we reach? We reached, to be more precise, we reached €140 out of the 300 we needed for the new CPU. Unfortunately, I had to order a new headset and I didn't have the money for it, so I had to take a bit from the CPU money, or this is still my broken headset, and you can see what I'm doing here with the cable. I'm basically like breaking it even more, so it's going around here just so I can hear on both sides. So I damaged the headset right now even more, and I'm just hoping that the new headset is arriving really soon. But I had to buy a new headset for 70 euro, so we are technically back to 70 euro. But yeah, like we had 140 originally. Like, again, thank you for all the people who supported that. If you can or can't, I definitely appreciate the help. Like, thank you. And for everyone who's wondering, how could I support you, Mo? I would just put that here, so it's also there for the VOD, for all the people who are watching it. You can directly support me here with Stripe, right? Like that is going directly with me, and it works apparently for a lot of people. Yeah. So again, thank you for all the people who have been supporting the channel beyond just watching. That's a huge thing to ask. And you know, I'm not doing it often, and that might be a mistake, as I have been told over and over again. But I will be honest, I never liked that much. I know I'm a horrible business person. I really am. But yeah. Also, maybe it's just me, but I'm also sometimes feeling like my content / channel is not in the right state, in the right quality state sometimes. Maybe it's just the imposter syndrome talking, but you know. Yeah. But again, thank you all to all the people who have been supporting it. Really do appreciate it. But with that said, folks, I will wrap it up here. I wish you a wonderful Christmas holiday, if you should celebrate. If you don't, well, that's completely fine. I wish you hopefully a good rest of the end of the year. And I will be back next year, probably around the 2nd or 3rd of January is probably when I will be back. The good thing is we don't have any stress. It will be relatively quiet still around that time when it comes to gaming. That doesn't mean, to make that very clear, that doesn't mean I don't have any videos planned for YouTube. There will be videos in the next 3 weeks. So, well, two and a little bit week. So keep your eye peeled for that, because it will be content you haven't seen yet. So again, thank you so much for watching. Have some great holidays. You all deserve a break. Play some video games. Meet your loved ones. And have a good time. And don't forget, you're never alone. You're always welcome here. You're always welcome in my Discord, right? So, thank you for being a part of this community. I see you in January. Till then, have a good one. Bye-bye. Ka-ching!